Great. So I think Isha has a few different kind of yantras. Do you? So I think you mentioned the Gudi and then the Bhairavi yantra and the Avigna yantra. Then there is Dhyanalinga yantra, which you mentioned once to me, because I've always been on the fence about these things. And then there is a Nanmai Uruvam.
Nanmai Uruvam. So there is Dhyanalinga yantra, which is it's a copper plate frame. It is to get connected to Dhyanalinga's energy. So we also have it, and it's like when you light a lamp and be in that presence, definitely there is some connection and some. It kind of, I think the yantras build a bridge between that energy form wherever it is and wherever you are, and able to experience it. So there is that to experience Dhyanalinga's energy, and Nanmai Uruvam is part of Ishanga 7%. Ishanga 7% is where one is taking a commitment of offering 7% of what you are earning or whatever you are receiving in the form of monetary, Part of the Nanmai Uruvam ceremony, and when one takes a commitment of offering like 7% of whatever you are receiving in a ceremony, or you can receive these, yantras only, Nanmai Uruvam yantra, which it is like experiencing Sadhguru's energy, at least in my own experience. It's,
I know you also had the Nanmai Uruvam with you.
Yes. Because I remember going to, I remember going to Jaipur once, like my other home, and we didn't carry any other energy form like Gudi or Dhyanalinga yantra. But since my husband has committed to contributing 7% Ishanga, so we took the Nanmai Uruvam, and I offered, I did Guru Puja, and in that presence of the Nanmai Uruvam. And for me, it was the same experience which I had, like, when we attend Sadhguru's programs. I broke down and I was overwhelmed with that energy of experiencing Sadhguru, or the Guru energy or whatever it is. I can't differentiate, but I was very overwhelmed. And then I realized that, oh my God, even such a like a small consecrated energy form can make such a big difference, and so Nanmai Uruvam is for one to experience Sadhguru's energies. But here again, like you do, there's a small process, I think 12 to 15 minutes or something like that. Because once when you do a process for a certain consecrated energy form, then you build that receptivity to experience that energy. It is not for that, like at least how it is designed, it's not for experience, for that energy form to stay vibrant. That's the most, we are very lucky, because the way Sadhguru has designed these consecrated energy form, they are in itself reverberating, say maybe for generations. So there's nothing much we need to tend to take care of that. But when we do these small little processes, it is for us to experience that energy.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a really good way of putting it.
Yeah. So that's Nanmai Uruvam. One can receive, when you are committed for that 7% Ishanga. There's a ceremony also for that, where Sadhguru initiates the person who is receiving it as well.
Yeah, I know. I was part of it for some time, and they had asked me to go, and I never ended up going. But let's see in future how things shape up. Anyway, with the lockdown, everything has changed, so we don't really know how things are shaping up. But Great. So these are there, and the upkeep for it, you are saying pretty much for all of these is mostly just lighting one lamp and as a minimum, and if there's a little process of touching it, then that's all. Otherwise,
Yeah, that's for the Linga Bhairavi yantra. Nanmai Uruvam, there is a process. Mandatory for everything is lighting a lamp, at least
yeah.
that much, you know. And then, say for Linga Bhairavi yantra, it's like, say, 11 minutes process minimum, and say chanting a stuti. So I don't think so. It might take more than 20 minutes a day for any of these consecrated forms. And the lastly, for Sadhguru Sannidhi,
Yeah,
right?
because you also got a Sadhguru Sannidhi, which is amazing. I don't even know how the whole thing adds up.
Uh, yeah, actually for me also it was like, okay, you know, I'm you know, good, we are good with experiencing Devi yantra at home. Our home is already a temple, but you know, all these things happen very mystically. If somebody, many of them who have received yantras or Sannidhi, they can just tell that it's just happened. You know, some people worry about donation and all that stuff. I think it's a very petty thing to think about even that, because what we are receiving, it is like that energy lasts for years to come, and it's nothing in compared to what we are receiving. Like in any case of any Sadhguru's program, you know, people might initially think it comes as oh, the donation is so much. But tell me, like, if somebody hands out a 45 rupees yantra, how, versus like say one, say 1,500, or say like even 5,000, how would you hold that 5,000 rupees, you know, copper plate to versus 50 rupees? You would definitely value the 5,000 more, right? That's how you know, people have become, like the society has become, and it's natural, right? So so there is some donation to these, but I feel it's completely um, it's a very small thing in compared to what we are receiving. Because imagine like many years ago, if we had to get initiated by a guru itself, like somebody had to wait for 12 years, right? And we are left and right, many of them are getting initiated into Shambhavi and other powerful processes at Isha. And to top this, we are receiving these consecrated energy forms, which, as I said, it's very easily given, right? And so the process for Sannidhi is also very, like Sadhguru's made it so easy for people who have it. You know, the mandatory thing is lighting a lamp morning and evening, and every Monday, in some time I'll be going for doing the process. Every Monday, for full moon night, Purnima, Amavasya, new moon, you do a process, which is 40 to 45 minutes. And like it's best to do your sadhana practices in the space where you've kept the Sannidhi or the yantra, you know, so that, as I said, having a consecrated energy form, that itself starts reverberating in a very different way and can change your own energy system. So the upkeep, or you know, the maintenance of these energy forms is very minimal, very minimal. And I mean, if spending 20 minutes a day lighting a lamp morning and evening, I mean, if we cannot do it, I think one should not receive it. You know, it's like, I mean, it's not, I mean, I think one should not even get initiated into a yogic process also, because, I mean, as I said, it's given out so easily, you know, just so easily.
I think the
like
problem, Sphoorti, generally turns out to be that when you received it, I think your connection just built on its own, and that deepened process happened. I guess some people it doesn't happen. I mean,
see, it is because you have set expectations, right? Majorly, because we are not willing, we have some limitation which keeps us from experiencing that, is one aspect. And it doesn't matter. See, like what I may experience having a yantra at home may not be your experience, or
yeah,
maybe
it will be
not.
different. That is the thing.
Maybe not the way my husband connects is just doing those 20 minutes process. I might sit and do some flower decoration. I might talk to Devi and all that. So it's completely up to that person how it is. I mean, eventually
I mean, are these energy forms, are you changing your own perception? I mean, working on yourself and changing that perception within you, or just like, thinking, okay, that energy form will do something to you. See, because there is a set expectation that you have an energy form and that should do something to you, right? You subconsciously you have already made the decision that that is going to do something to me, right? And that itself kind of, I feel, builds a block. When we just, I mean, these tools, and any, like if we dissolve into that energy of, say, like a loved one or a deity or a guru, and that's when we start reverberating in a very different way. What is you, the deity, and that form, and you starts becoming one.
No, that's fair enough. But I think people also take it differently, as you've said. Like you took it because you already had all of this experience, and then you went to the next step for you. But for someone else, as you're saying, they're already exposed to these things. They may just get it from
like
a very
for me,
different perspective. And
yeah, so for me, initially, it began with a goodie was just to experience that energy at
exactly,
home.
yeah.
Because you cannot be in ashram 24 hours, but how can you make a physical space like an ashram? See, we can, today I was having a discussion with a friend that, about the same thing, that how it's different, like when she's in her hometown, away from a consecrated space, uh, you're feeling a difference, right? Because if you want to be in a space, and you have to build up that energy within yourself to keep up with that space as well. But whereas a consecrated space, it helps you to settle into meditation very easily,
Yeah,
right? Or
I think
it
that we
helps to
notice.
settle without
Yeah, we notice that in
easily.
a lot of places also. That's it's easier to meditate in certain places versus other
Yeah.
places.
So different people receive this energy form for different reasons. It's purely for sadhana. Some people think, okay, it might change their life, and many different things. But one must, I mean, I think the basic thing is, to have that reverence, that it's an energy form. And if we have set expectations with any loved one, we know that it's going to fail, right? The more less expectations we have, the more we become willing, and the more we dissolve, and more we can experience the other person. So similarly, it's like that with the energy form as well, I think. And like for us, receiving Sannidhi was also very magical and mystical. As I said, having a presence of a Devi yantra itself, like say for 4 years, we have been having it. It's like a temple, but since it's a lockdown time and we cannot visit the ashram and stay for longer duration, we kind of felt that the for our practices and like the Dhyanalinga energy or Sadhguru's presence, we wanted to experience that. I mean, this is like the logical conversation, I would say, but just one fine day after Sadhguru's darshan, we both felt like we want to receive Sannidhi, and it just happened in like 4 5 days, and we received Sannidhi, and there were these Ishangas who came home, and they initiated us into the process. And it was a full moon night, full moon night. Just imagine how these things fell into place. Like, I mean, why would it happen on a full moon night? Like it's a beautiful day, like that way. So many a times, you might think it's logically you want to receive this form, but many a times it feels very mystical also at the same time. Many of them have said, like for Devi especially, they would dream about Devi, and they have never seen Devi's form, but they want to experience it, and then they have inquired about yantra, and they've received the yantra. Some have said that suddenly they were browsing, they don't know about Isha, they don't know about anything about yoga, but they just saw an image of Linga Bhairavi on the web screen, and they wanted to know about her, and they came to know, and they received it. So I feel there is a lot of underlying mystical, or say inner connection also with these energy forms coming into our lives. You know, it's like inviting grace, right? Like it's like how we meet a guru or a, you know, a enlightened being, or like, you know, beings who are, you know, like with that vibration, the kind of people we attract and all that. I think certain times there is a mystical thing that how it happens, it just happens very mystically. So it's a combination of mysticism, science, your devotion,
Yeah.
and most importantly, how it makes a difference in our life, you know, how that helps us and how we change it. Unless we don't dissolve or we don't be in that devotion, I mean, uh, that true essence of, you know, experiencing a consecrated deity or a form has not happened, I feel, doesn't it? Yeah.
Great. That was really, I think we were, I mean, we were looking to have this conversation for such a long time, and it was, I think you mentioned that we don't need to really do too much activity around it if that's not something that we are inclined to. But what if we are traveling and stuff? Because I travel a lot, and a lot of times I'm actually like a nomad. So I was even moving from 3 months, 3 months, 3 months to different places. So how does it work then?
So, as you know, for me, if somebody's travel has a lot of travel and, you know, shifting homes, I mean, it's best to receive something like a Devi Goody. So you can carry Devi Goody anywhere you go, and you have the Dhyanalinga yantra. And of course, lighting a lamp. So this is very easy for us to, you know, when we are shifting and when we are being on our own, and like somebody like you as well. Because yantras and some Sadhguru Sannidhi, it's best it is in one, if you have established it, right? You know, it is not moved constantly.
Yeah.
You know, and suppose, I mean, it's okay if you like plan to shift in say 1 or 2 years, but you know, if you have established that energy form in your home, it's best not to keep moving it, because you made that space into a temple.
Yeah.
And suppose if one is traveling, like suppose somebody has a yantra at home and is traveling say for 2-3 weeks, then it's a very simple process. You cover the yantra with a silk cloth. If possibly light a 0 watt lamp in the light in that room, and if somebody's at home, they can light a lamp but not touch the
Okay.
space. I mean yantra. So it's not impossible that you cannot travel. Even we both travel. So, and whenever we travel, we can do our chanting of the Linga Bhairavi Sphoorti, or sadhana, which helps us stay connected. With Sadhguru Sannidhi, it's a commitment that, you know, you light a lamp and do the process. If possibly, try to be there on Mondays and Purnami and Amavasya. We can plan a travel around that. But yeah, so it's not impossible to leave the house, but it is also about for your own connection.
Yeah, yeah. No, I also suspect that if I was to get a yantra, it would probably impact my overall lifestyle quite a bit. It's because the travel is a lifestyle choice for me, no? It's not really like I have to travel for work or anything. So I wonder how it may shape up. But anyway, that is something.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not impossible to travel. Like as I said, you can, you know, cover the yantra and then travel, because there are many people who have received it. Sometimes they have received the yantra and they have gone for Hatha Yoga teacher training, or their travel or their work keeps them busy. As I said, if you're married and if you've received as a couple, then at least there's one person who is doing the process, you know. Or suppose as a family you're staying and you have a Sadhguru Sannidhi at home, like the other family members can get initiated into doing the process, and they can do the process, you know. For yantra and Sannidhi, the main yantra is personalized, so only the people who have got initiated do the yantra process.
Yeah.
But with Sannidhi, anybody can get initiated and trained to do the process for Sannidhi. And if they've got trained, they can do the entire process.
Right.
So, as I said, it's very...
There are
easy
these
for
local Sannidhi centers also. So definitely the Sannidhi, I think they've made it like that. Like it can be a common space for, in a
Yes.
common meditation hall and things like that.